How can we avoid sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss? This is a big one. You're going to want to stick around to the end because this is very important, because I know for a fact a lot of people are doing things inadvertently and creating sarcopenia. So the first one, stop fasting. I know you think fasting is good for you, but doing intermittent fasting is not really fasting the way we think of fasting. Fasting is an extended period of time where you're not eating. For a lot of people, intermittent fasting is just simply not eating breakfast and eating an early dinner. And that's anything they eat in between is no big deal. So if you're eating lunch at noon or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then you're eating dinner at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and that's all the time in between that you're eating, but you're not eating after 6 o'clock and you're not eating till the following day at 12. That's really not what we're talking about. We're talking about fasting for numerous days. There's a guy named Peter Attia, and he has documented that he has stopped doing extended fasts, even though it may create benefits like autophagy and weight loss. What he found was that he was losing weight with fasting, extended fasting. The problem is that the weight loss was not just fat and not just water, but he was losing muscle as well. And it just, as we age, if you're trying to prevent muscle loss, you can't do things that are going to create damage to the muscle. So extended fasting, no bueno. The second thing that you can do is to exercise strenuously. When you exercise strenuously, either with weights or with high intensity interval training, things of that nature, you stimulate metabolically a demand for protein to be entering into these muscles and rebuild the muscles. So the amino acids from the breakdown of protein are going to be used to build muscle up. If you're not demanding anything from your muscles, then of course your muscles will just atrophy and shrink. That's the whole point of it. So the easiest and quickest way with the least amount of time given to this exercise would be to lift heavy weights. Do it slow, do it in a controlled fashion so that you don't get injured, but do it so strenuously that at the end of 8 or 9 repetitions, you are done. When you do it that way, you're going to create the most metabolic demand for amino acids to be entering and rebuilding muscle. You're going to be stimulating growth hormone, and you're going to be stimulating testosterone, which will prevent sarcopenia. The third and last thing that you can do is to not eat a high protein diet, but also to not eat a low protein diet. Eat a protein adequate diet. And here's what I mean by that. When people say they're eating a high protein diet, they usually just mean that they're not eating breads and pastas and cookies and cakes, that they stopped eating carbohydrates, or maybe even that they stopped eating vegetables and they stopped eating fruits and they're only eating steak. But it's important to understand that your body needs a certain number of grams of protein in order to stay healthy. For most people, that's about 1.6 grams per 2.2 kilograms of body weight. That equates to about 0.73 grams per pound. If you do it that way, what you'll find is that you need, like if you weigh 150 pounds and you have decent body fat percentages, then you're going to need about 80 to 90 grams of protein per day. That's what your body needs to prevent damage to the muscles and to maintain muscle strength and muscle girth. But are you getting that? If you are eating 60 grams of protein per day, and that's all you're eating, let's say you eat once a day and you eat a big steak, but it's only got 60 grams of protein, you are actually under eating the amount of protein that you need for your body. The reason why you don't want to eat too much protein is because then it's hard on your kidneys. So if you need 90 grams of protein, then eating 160 grams of protein is not good for you either. So you want to eat a protein adequate diet so that you're getting the right amount of protein for your body. A 110-pound male who has a 5 to 7% body fat is different than a 200-pound bodybuilder with the same percentage body fat. Likewise, someone who's 200 pounds, but 45% of their body is fat, that's their body fat percent, they're gonna need less protein than the bodybuilder. So eat a protein adequate diet, you're going to lift weights, and you're gonna stop doing extensive fasting. That's what the research shows. Let me know in the comment section what you think, and if you're still having trouble trying to figure out what are some good snacks that you can eat that have high protein and high fat and no carbs that you can snack on to increase the amount of protein that you eat per day, go ahead and hit this box at the end of the video and I will put that link and you can watch that video and see exactly what I personally do to increase the amount of protein so I'm getting a protein adequate diet.